welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Rosie Henshaw. If you're new here, then welcome. It's lovely to meet you. And if you're already existing, guys, then thank you so much for coming back. I really do appreciate it. Grab yourself a nice cup of tea and some snacks. Mine is the water in my pumpkin spice mug. And we are going to be doing some Poundland autumn upcycles. So I know it's a little bit early for autumn, but obviously if you are crafting these and you are busy and you're struggling to find the time as well, it never hurts to start early so you can do little bits at a time. If this video does skip at all, or I'm in different clothes or random, it would literally just be because obviously I've got the baby now. It isn't as easy as me sitting at the table just doing a craft video and then whacking it straight up. So it'll be a case of I might do different crafts, maybe some tomorrow, the rest of them finish tonight. So if the lighting's a bit different, that's obviously why. But I've been to Poundland. You would have seen the Poundland haul. If you watch the crafts, I'd have said on there, obviously I'll put that in the title, that some of them are supplies for the crafts we're going to be doing. And what I want to do really is bring you really cheap, fun things to make that you can hang around your house that are going to look absolutely beautiful for autumn. I've struggled. Really? You don't think I can do it? 'Cause I think I can do it. Do you want to see how I do it? Yeah? Yeah, okay. So basically, I found Poundland's gone a little bit dearer. So it's a little bit harder to make these crafts really affordable, especially when, you know, you might need 10 things from the pound shop, you know, that will make a wreath that are £2 each now, and the wreath you can buy probably for £16 in a shop. So sometimes it's got to be economical and worthwhile making it. But I have got a few crafts here that I think will be worth your while, that you enjoy making. Don't worry, by the way, Gary's with the baby playing in the background, so I'm not just leaving him to cry. So we're going to start off with the first one we're going to be making today is the hula hoop wreath. Now you may have seen, if you've been watching my videos from the very beginning, I done a spring wreath. So if you're still into summer spring, go ahead and have a look. I'll link all them videos in the description box below. So I made a spring wreath using a car steering wheel cover, and we made a beautiful spring wreath, lovely florals and stuff on it. It literally cost £5 and it's beautiful. I've still got it down in my summer house, hung up, and it just looks lovely. And I know loads of you made it and shared it on Instagram, showed me and tagged me in it. But I wanted to make a bigger wreath this year and something more autumnal. So on the back wall in my dining room, I have like this sort of sheep's head. If you've seen a home tour, you would have seen. I've got this sheep's head, and I wanted a wreath that's big enough that I can hang this round and it not be so super full that you don't see the sheep's head. So it's, you know, like a half wreath. So I got this hula hoop for £1 in the pound shop in Poundland, and I want to make this into a wreath very, very cheaply. So I've got myself some Hessian ribbon. Now, by all means, get any ribbon that you like. You could even paint this by hand, or you could spray paint the hula hoop to make it more in keeping if you don't want to do this part. I just think this part will look much nicer. Obviously, if you want to spray paint it and still add a little bit of that country rustic, you could get that jute string from the pound shop and you can tie that round it. It just takes a lot more time. I'm not going to bother spray painting mine because I'm going to be sticking a lot of stuff to it. So I'm just going to plug my glue stick in actually with my hot glue gun. Let's go. And what I've got as well is I've got some leaves, some artificial leaves. So you can get these from the works. They do sell these in the pound shop as well, the closer it gets to sort of Halloween time. But these ones I think are from Amazon. I've got loads of Amazon one year. But they do packets of like 250 in the works for £1. So you're not going to need too many of these little like faux leaves that come in all the autumnal colours. Sometimes I use the stems that I've got left over and spray them, like eucalyptus ones. I do them in the pound shop as well. But I'm just going to keep this as minimal price as I can. So £1 for the hula hoop, and also I've got some of this jute string. I'm pretty sure I got this in Garden Centre section of Home Bargains. I think it's about £2.50 and you get so much of it. I'm pretty sure. I've got a bit of a shocking memory. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tie this part up here. Now, if you've got a glue gun, you can glue this, or just tie this if you don't. I am going to glue this up after, but I just want to show you don't have to have loads and loads of craft kit to do this. And I'm going to keep it bunched up in a ball. And if you're doing this with ribbon or wool, you can buy balls of wool and do this. Obviously skip this part if you're just spraying your hula hoop. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start wrapping really nice and tightly at the end, but kind of loosely as I go over, if that makes sense. So overlapping the Hessian, and I'm just going to wrap this over and over, sort of like wrapping it over half the next time, and it should cover it really well. And I'm just going to do it like this. It's going to take a little while to do it. Yet again, I'm going to go over about halfway, and that's how I'm going to do that. Yeah, it's a lovely noise. and I'll just keep doing this until I've covered the entire hula hoop. Now obviously if you're doing this with jute string, this will take you a very long time. I've done it with the cast steering wheel cover and it took ages, but you know, a little bit each night, it won't matter. But I'm doing it with this just because I think it's much more cost effective. I think you're probably gonna need less of it because you're probably gonna need about 20 wrap overs for just one of these, the equivalent, and obviously I've got this rather cheap, and probably get this on Amazon as well. If anything I can link that I will try and link in the description, because I know not everyone has the stores or are able to get out to the stores that I'm describing, so I'll link anything I can below in the description, the cheapest ones I can find. I'm just going to go and do this, carry on, and then once we're finished I'm going to come back and show you how we're going to glue this on and make it look really, really beautiful. So we have got this set up now, it is done, our hula hoop is completely covered. I just stuck it down with a little bit of glue at the end. You don't need to do it the whole way through. It will last like this. It isn't like perfect by no means least, but do you know what, it's a bit rustic and that's the look we're going for. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start gluing on our leaves. Now at this point you could have some cable ties if you've got some stems in the garden, or if you've already got like eucalyptus stems that you've had from previous wreaths that we've made together. You can spray them with browns and golds and stuff, and you could actually just tie these to it with florist wire or cable ties. Use what you have, but I'm going to be using these leaves because if you haven't got any of these items, these are the cheapest way to build the wreath up, because you get so many of these leaves so cheaply from the works or online from Amazon, and you get loads of different colours, and we can build this up to make it look big, and you don't need to buy loads of different stems. So what I'm going to start doing is, which I've done already, just to show you an example, I'm going to start gluing some leaves on the back, like on the behind part. So this is going to be the front, what you can see. I'm going to start gluing some on the back just to stick them out, because I'm going to go in an opposite direction on the front and it will build it up and make it look wider. So just along the back section, I'm going to be facing these. Obviously you get the little pattern on the front of them, that is going to be facing towards the front, so I'm going to be sticking them downwards, and I'm going to do that to loads of different ones. I'm going to use my glue gun and I'm going to do that now. I'm going to go all the way round evenly. Oh, better refill my glue. I've got all my crafts out on the table ready for you guys. I'm just going to turn the camera around actually a little bit. I've got so much going on. I've also got my lunch in the sink. Could not wait. So yeah, got my glue and I'm just going to be gluing little parts on the back of the wreath. Sounds like one of them, you know what they called? You know them like instruments that you have as a kid, and they're like the rain ones, they create the sound of rain. What is that instrument? I can't think, but they're going to be, some are facing outwards, some will be upside down, but basically towards the outside of the wreath is what we're going to be doing. So my little shrimp ears are on show. I've got the most lowest down little shrimp ears. They're like little Frankenstein bolts at the bottom of your neck, but in the shapes of the little shrimp that you get, little bananas and shrimp sweets. So I'm just going to go around basically with the same sort of colour, leaving a tiny bit of a gap as we go around, probably about 1 inch. That one was facing that way. I'm going to do them like this, I'm going to go the whole way round. That's what I'm going to do now. I've just realised I am actually meant to be doing a half wreath, aren't I? I've got a bit carried away. Should we do a full wreath? Full wreath or half wreath? I'm just going to do a half wreath because I know what I'm going to be sticking on it, and I think it will look too much if we go the whole way round. So I'm going to finish up with this part here actually. Last one. And then we'll have our half wreath. So as we pick this up, it'll look like that from the back. This is actually the front. And now I'm just going to bulk up some leaves at the front as well. Now I'm going to start adding some of the not this red because this is a bit bright. I'm going to be adding some of these lovely dark reds to the front because I think these are really pretty. And I'm yet again going to just glue all these around the front. But what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to do them slightly to the side so you can see the ones at the back coming through. And these ones I'm going to be popping the glue on the back of them. Rather than at the front like last time on the front of them. Need another glue stick. You can get glue sticks from the pound shop as well, by the way, guys, so to make it all cheaper. What are the yellow ones? I'm just going to pop these facing inwards. Then you'll get like a real layered look. Add the last one. So we've really layered that up at the sides here. So now here, what we're going to do is we want to lay it up, but make it go a little bit bigger as we get down to the bottom. And we want to start adding some nice extra decorative pieces to this as well. So what I'm going to do is we can add more leaves, but I'm actually going to bundle the leaves now. So I'm going to get 3 different colours of leaf it out, and I'm going to glue them together. But I'm going to glue them together like so, one that way, one the other way, one that way, sort of circular, to make circles of leaves like that, to sort of pop on, so they'll make a lot more of the bigger size. So just literally glue them all together, placing them like this, one to that side and then the other one to fill that gap there. So you'll end up with, and I'm just going to make a few of these up, and then they'll look like kind of like flowers really, and that's what we're going to start to add to make them go a lot bigger. So I'm going to do a few of them now, and then I'll catch up with you in 2 seconds. Right, so we've made 4 of those. So them 4, we're going to have 2 either side, because obviously as you can see it makes it look like it's starting to get a little bit bigger. I'm going to glue them to the wreath now as well on the back here, and I'm going to glue them more towards the edge, because we're going to want to make this section like it's getting deeper, and so then again I will just bring it down longer like here. Might have to delve into my glitter glue soon because I'm running out of clear glue. I've gone through 3 sticks so far, but you get for like a pack, I think it's like 10 in the pound shop. Push that down a little bit more. And then we're going to do this side here. More towards the edge, more towards yourself, if that makes sense. And then do one more. Put a little bit more glue on that one. I haven't really glued that one very well. So you'll see it sort of looks like it's getting a bit fuller as it gets to the bottom, ever so slightly, not massive drastic difference. But now we need to do like the focal point, like the centerpiece of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of the burlap that we've used, and I'm going to make a big farmhouse bow. And the way to do this is to get quite a bit of material. It does work out better if you have like the wired ribbon for this, because it tends to stay in shape a lot more. But like I say, we're not spending extra money on this. It literally doesn't matter. You're going to just get your lengths and you're going to sort of like concertina fold it on top of each other like this. Concertina fold, basically similar lengths, and then you'll end up with just a layer of material like this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of floristry wire or string, whatever you have to hand. You do not need to go out buying any supplies for that really. A bit of string will do, or some cotton, or you can use a little bit of what you've already got and just wrap that around it. I'm just going to use a little bit of floristry wire because I find it gets you a bit more of a tighter pinch. Sorry, I'm listening to the baby. I can hear Gary making the baby laugh. And I'm just going to twist it. And keep twisting, make it nice and tight. And what you'll end up with is this weird looking like bow. Well, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of fray it out, making the loops bigger as we go around, sort of pulling the loops out. Like I say, if this was wired, you wouldn't have a problem. It would just sort of stay as it is. but this isn't wired, so you can have a few more problems, but it is going to make a really nice farmhousey bow anyway. You don't need to go out and buy an extra bits that you don't need. The back piece here, we don't actually need, so I'm just going to trim that at the back so you can't see that. That piece of ribbon. We're going to have it nice and little because that is the bit that we're going to use to glue this onto the actual piece, or you can use some floristry wire. And then what I'm going to use is an extra piece of ribbon. That piece I cut off was a bit too small. So I'm going to use a little piece like this, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold this in half, and I'm going to glue this around the centre of the bow. Starting at the back first so that it can cover itself up. Hold that down for a second. I'm going to put a little bit of glue at the front as well so it stays down directly where the wire is. Pull it round, nice and tight, and then to the back, and then glue it back down. So he loads of noise if he's like, what are you doing? He's playing with his big brothers, that's what he's doing. So then we've got this really nice, big farmhouse looking bow. Really big farmhouse one. Now, if this was wired, it would be like really 3D looking. I've not done it perfectly. I've not measured it out perfect, but it's more to show you an example. And I'm gonna be gluing this right in the center of the piece. I do personally think it would be easier to tie this with a bit of string. Perhaps what I should have done is I tend to think of these crafts on the go. I just think like that'd be a good idea, and I don't really plan it ahead. It probably would be better to actually tie it on with this or glue it on with another piece of this. That's what I'm gonna do, just because realistically I should have done that bit around the middle there. I should have done this and attached it to the wreath as I went along. But I didn't do that, and that's fine because it's all trial and error. I'm going to tie it around the front of the wreath here, and I'm going to do that now. Tie it round, make sure it's folded in half as well so it looks much neater, finer. Now obviously you didn't really have to glue, I'm going to tie this in a knot, you didn't really have to glue your leaves on in that section there, but I just feel like you should because it will make it nice and neat. I'm going to do another little knot, and then I'm just going to trim off the excess. It'd probably work better with a little bit of jute string to do this, but obviously, like I say, mine's down in the craft room. I haven't really thought that far ahead. I didn't think I'd be doing this, so I didn't get it out. But don't need to add more expense to it because, like I say, I've already got that. I'm using that anyway. So we've got our bow. Now at this point, this looks really pretty as it is. It's a £3 wreath. It's really big. You could do this the whole way round. The limits are endless. But I do have to hand a few little pumpkins that I got off of Amazon last year. And they're orange, and I think they're just gonna look really, really beautiful. I've got a few orange, a few white. Now, Pound Shop do picks that are pumpkins, but they are glitter. Now, by all means, you can paint over those, and they will look like stone. You won't know that they're glitter. You can do that. They come in like a pack for £1, and you get like 3 picks on them. You can use them, cut them off. Like I say, it isn't actually autumn season at the moment, so they're not going to be stocking those at the moment. So it'll be a little bit more difficult to get your hands on them kinds of bits. But I'm just using what I have. These aren't very expensive on Amazon if you get them at the right time. If you get them a bit later on, like nearer to autumn, they do cost more. That's just how Amazon is for some reason. So I'm just going to start styling out where I kind of want my pumpkins. I think I want kind of a bit of a larger piece here. So I'm just going to look at it and see roughly where I want them. I'm going to kind of want one facing upwards there. You can use florist wire for this actually. You can like stab it in the bottom if you want. I'm just going to put a nice sized piece of glue, and I'm going to hold it really nice and tight while I'm waiting. Press it down nice and hard until it is actually set and dry. And then I'm probably going to put a little, maybe a white pumpkin. Yeah, I'm going to put a white pumpkin there. You can use florist wire, you can sort of stab it in the bottom and then use that to tie it in, but I'm just going to use glue because it'll be faster. I'll probably secure these a little bit better once I come off the camera. But to save time and you not end up watching a million hours long video, I'm just going to glue these on. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the side of this as well as the bottom, so that when I glue it on, a little bit of glue will be on the actual wreath and a little bit of glue will be sticking it to the pumpkin along that's next to it. So they'll stick together as well. So if you did want to buy these pumpkins from the pound shop and paint them, you know, you're talking an extra £1, so you don't really have to spend a lot on these. And if you do want to get these from Amazon, I got these in a huge packet and they were like £7.99 last year. And you get big ones as well with that. But obviously you might not want to do that, and that's fine. And then you've got the cost of extra, but it would be a lot cheaper than buying a wreath and buying separate large pumpkins. If you want to do it yourself, it does work out cheaper doing it this way. I think these are the Poundland ones. No, these aren't the Poundland ones. Poundland ones, I think I've got them in black. They're black glitter. And I'm going to paint mine cream this year to make them look like stone effect. But I did do that a couple of years ago with another autumn wreath that I made on my YouTube channel. And yeah, you can see that they come out really nice. I'm going to pop this one here. I'm just going to wait a little while. I think I might make some towels for this to hang down to make it like elongated, and add a few little leaves. So all you're going to need to do is trim a piece of material off. I'm just going to fold it in half, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it again in half and then do a triangle towards the edges, cut at an angle. And then what you'll end up with is 2 little tails like that. I'm just gonna go like that and then glue this section to the back here. So the back of this, I'm gonna just put it on his back, just put a little bit of glue to join them together to start. So they're folded in half, press them together, that'll keep them nice and firm. And then I'm just gonna put some glue on to the back. Glue over that, and then that will sort of hide that little bit that we knotted anyway. It's a bit sticky because it comes through the jute, so be careful of your fingers. Like I say, you might want to use some heat gloves or something to do this, maybe some gardening gloves so it doesn't stick to your actual fingers. And it does crumble quite relatively easy. And then what we've got here is a gorgeous autumn wreath that's cost all of about £4, and it's huge. I'm going to show you this styled up at the end as well. So you do not need to spend loads of money in all the expensive shops. You can do this really, really cheaply. So here's the wreath. And now I'm going to show you an easy, cheap pumpkin that you can make for £2. Right, so we've got the wreath under our belts. And now I'm going to show you how to make a really, really cheap pumpkin. This can either cost you £1 or this can cost you £2, depending on what you already have at home. So I got this from the pound shop. It's a little bun set where you can make like a bun for your hair. It comes with some hair clips and some hair bands, which I will put to good use after, maybe to sort this little pie out. But what I'm actually going to be using is this bit. I was just fraying a little bit, so I'm just going to trim it. Now, if you can have old fluffy socks, pieces of material that you can use to do this. What I'm going to use is some wool that I've got. So I paid £1 for some wool, and I got this from Home Bargains, but you can get this for 99p or like £1, loads of places. In the pound shop they do it for £1 as well. But I thought this was the most beautiful orange terracotta sort of burnt colour. So what I'm actually thinking is this is perfect for what I want it for. Minnie darling, will you just pop your under lights on over there, babe? Thank you, darling. We have light. Is that the orange colour? Is that the right colour? That is the correct colour. Sometimes they go different colours. So I'm just going to use this wool because I think it's going to look really pretty. And we're going to make, you know, faux knitted pumpkins for virtually £1. I already had this at home anyway. But if you were going to buy it new, then obviously £2. So what I'm going to do is any wool that you've got, any string or any fabric you can use, I'm just going to tie this round my hand loosely. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to tie it round near my elbow to give me long lengths, so like this. And this will be the quickest way of doing this because it will bunch it up really nice. You'll get long strands that you can just tie around it, really easy. So just get your yarn and do this. I've got so much rubbish all over my side here where I've been doing crafting all afternoon. I think what I'll do is I'll just do the pumpkin and the wreath today because it took me a bit longer than expected to film those. They take, realistically, if I wasn't talking, they take about 10 minutes to do each. But yeah, so that we're not stuck ridiculously long. Just gonna do it around my arm a bit more. And then we're gonna trim this. You might need to do this again, so we're all attached. Have to do this again with little scissors. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get our scissors again down through the bottom like this. We're going to trim these. These actually are like bamboo scissors. These are for like pruning trees and stuff. They're really not for like wool. They're not that sharp. They're more like for thicker things going through it. So now we have some twine, like some yarn in long lengths. Probably have to do this maybe 1 or 2 more times. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it through the loop of the donut. And then I'm just going to rope it all the way around, like in and out, just pushing it through, wrapping it around the entirety of it. And as we go along, we can spread it out a bit, to sort of spread it to make it more, go a longer way. You'll end up buying loads of these. These get so addictive. Obviously, I do have my handmade knitted pumpkins that are a tiny bit of sewing, and I mean the most minimal bit of sewing, and they are fantastic. You can make massive ones with loads of different materials, tea towels, old bedding, you know, anything, any old dresses. But if you don't want sewing at all, then these will be your friends. But I will link all of them other videos below, because I feel like I haven't made crafts in a little while, and there's some newbies on here, and you might not have seen some of them videos. I'll just unloop that bit. That's all right. Let's bring it back in, and then keep looping it round. Like I say, you might need a bit more, might need to do it one more time. Tuck it back in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave these sections there on the outside, because I'm going to push them in after. Like I said, I just need one more go. I've done about half of it, so we'll do another load of it. If you use a sock, there is a trick where you can just literally put the sock on the outside and roll the bun, and it's really, really simple. But you want to make these look like you've knitted these yourself. So they're going to look like they've been hand knitted, and they've not. We've cheated. We've completely cheated doing this. So just do this. Trim our wool, if the scissors will allow, guys, if the scissors will allow. Right, and then we're going to trim this bit again. Oh, that cut through a bit better that time. So we'll just wrap that bit over there. No one will know. No one will know. They're going to know. No, they won't. What's that thing off of TikTok, isn't it? I'm going to hold that to the side. I'm going to pop that in to join it. Down there, and then I'm just going to use this bit and wrap this round as well, like I did with the other bit. Gar, where are you? Gary? Oh, it's Millie. Where's Dada? In the living room. It's with the baby. I thought he was quickly sneaking out. I thought it was you in there with the baby while Daddy was quickly sneaking out to the garden. And then end up just wrapping. You're basically wrapping wool around the whole of the donut. That's it. And then we're going to tuck this in. We're going to join these all these bits together at the bottom, twist them round, tuck them back in, shove them all in. You can put a bit of hot glue in there if you really want to, but you don't have to. Spread it all out, and then you'll end up with a little knitted pumpkin. But watch this bit. So we're going to use a little bit of the cotton we used, this, or you can use a cinnamon stick, a twig from the garden, anything you want. But I'm going to use this because I think this is kind of like a nice little way to use up that little scrap that we got. So I'm just going to cut it down a little bit because it's a little bit too deep. I'm just going to roll this into like, to make it look like a bit of a twig. You right, darling? Millie's my clumsy one. We call her Phoebe from Friends because she's my little clumsy girl. She's always tripping over stuff or kicking chair legs. And then it'll end up like in like a little tiny stem, and I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the inside of my pumpkin. So all you've got is a hair donut, a little bit of wool, glue the end of that, and then you just pop that in to the center, and for literally £1 you've got yourself little knitted pumpkins. And then you can obviously add little leaves to these if you want to, a little bit of hessian. They're really, really cute. I'm actually going to add that little leaf because I think that'll look really, really cute. But they are just the sweetest little things. and they don't cost a lot to make. They are super, super cheap. And with the wreath, I'm waiting for Gary to go, oh, I can't believe my wife made that out of a hula hoop. But
that's really cool.
You used to be making stuff out of nothing, didn't you? Especially arguments. Making something out of nothing. So yeah, these literally, so £2 and £4 for £6 you can make these in your home and they'll be forever. And the fact is you've made them yourself, they'll last forever. I do have other autumn crafts, but obviously this video's run on a little bit longer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a separate section because I've actually got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 8. I've got 8 other crafts I want to do that are autumn. So I'll do them in different series. So we'll just do these ones here and I'll pop this one up for you so you can do it. And obviously have all your bits from the pound shop ready and we'll do the other autumn crafts as well to go with it. But yeah, aren't they sweet? Give it a go. And obviously if you do go on Instagram, tag me in him. Mine's Rosie Henshaw Home. Tag me. I'd love to see all the bits that you're making as well. So yeah, I just thought it was just really beautiful. And I might even have to make a smaller version to hang up there. So as I said guys, I would show you, I'm actually going to hang this up higher, but I need to get Gary to put a nail up there for me above the goat's head. I've got a little pumpkin here and we've got our little wreath. Alfie, I say Alfie, I'm getting all the names mixed up, that's why I shouldn't call him the same things actually. But Albert's impressed. It looks really, really cute up there and like I say, really, really cheaply made. £4 that wreath. Yeah, I've been Rosie Henshaw. See you later. Hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a big thumbs up if you have. Take care. See you later. Bye.